Good morning, everyone. As our nation prepares for Thanksgiving, we just thank God for all the blessings He has bestowed upon us, our men and women in uniform who keep us safe. We thank them and their families for the sacrifices they make for our democracy, for our freedom. This year, we won't be able to be joining each other in the traditional way, but virtually we'll come together to thank God for our blessings. As we do so, though, it will be with great pain. It will be great pain that in our country, in this course of this year, 250,000 Americans have lost their lives to the coronavirus. Daily cases have averaged over 160,000 in this past week. Hospitalizations have set a national record for 3 days in a row last week. And over 11 million, it's 11.7 million and growing, people have been infected. Cases are set to rise. On the economic front, 20 million Americans are on unemployment, with the benefits soon set to expire, and millions have fallen into poverty and are food insecure and face the threat of eviction. So this is what is in our hearts. Sadly, our traditional, some of the things that we do regularly, but especially at Thanksgiving, to minister to those who are food insecure and the rest, will not actually be possible, but nonetheless, we must try. We are in a full-blown economic and health catastrophe, and it's amazing to see the patience the GOP has for other people's suffering. In another week, few weeks, we'll observe the 8th anniversary of Sandy Hook. 8 years ago, we saw the unspeakable horror of innocent children being gunned down at Sandy Hook. The people cried out for gun violence prevention, but the Republicans just brushed it off. This too shall pass. Several months ago, we all watched the murder of George Floyd. The American people poured into the streets. In fact, people all over the world poured into the streets for days and in some cases weeks. But Republicans ignored that, refused to pass legislation. This too shall pass. Now 250,000 Americans, as I mentioned, are dead. The number's rising. Over 6 months ago, when we passed the HEROES Act, Leader McConnell said, we need a pause. We need a pause. Well, I would hope that for him, the pause can come to an end. Nearly 200,000 people have died during that pause. So we're asking him, come back to the table. A few days ago, Leader Schumer and I sent him a letter, which you've all seen, asking the Republicans to come back to the table to meet the needs of the American people, which they have been willing to ignore. We would like to extend some of the provisions of the CARES Act, which are set to expire at the end of this year. We want to, again, add to that meeting the food needs. Over 17 million children in America are food insecure, and we have a hard time getting to put addressing those food needs into legislation. We must have that. The American people want that. That's part of our value system. Again, let's have help with rental assistance. Okay, have a moratorium, but unless the rent is paid, people are not going to be able to stay in their homes, and their landlords are not going to be able to pay the bank. So this helps everybody. It has become clear in the past 6 months that we needed more PPP to help our small businesses. Let's work that in, as we have tightened our belt any number of times in our HEROES Act, and once again, months ago to include PPP. The list goes on, but some of these things about unemployment insurance, food security, stopping evictions, PPP to keep our businesses, small businesses, thriving. And they have refused to crush the virus. They even admitted they had no intention of controlling it, much less crushing it.